Well, just as we're deconstructing the life of the Pope, we're also deconstructing the work of our own President Barack Obama, who's been in public life, national life now, for many, many years. I want to keep Wonderland columnist Dan Henninger here on the set to discuss his column on President Obama. Dan, you've been writing a series now on the president, what makes him tick. The latest is the Obama-Mayan economy, the Obama-Mayan universe.
The Obama-Mayan, his alternative universe.
His alternative universe. First of all, what is the Obama-Mayan universe?
Well, the Obama-Mayan universe is like the one that predated Copernicus, when everybody thought that all of the planets revolved around the Earth. We now know that that's false. But similarly, I think Barack Obama seems to think that everything in the private sector, large corporations, mom and pop stores, everything out there revolves around public spending. And it's about Washington sending out these life forces into the country to allow it to survive. He literally believes that public spending has this kind of life force, this energy force for the United States. And I'm not trying to talk really here in kind of weird science fiction terms. I have been writing these columns because I believe we have to start taking Barack Obama at his word. On the one hand, yes, he's quite a political animal and he's trying to marginalize the Republicans, but it is not simply politics. This president, I think, is more different than any in living memory. I think even Franklin Roosevelt understood the legitimacy and purpose of the private sector. Barack Obama regards the private sector as an abstraction, simply something out there that processes tax revenue into the Washington so that this spending machine, this magic force, can raise up the country. He does not want to cut spending.
You know, the column out today, it's on WSJ.com, I encourage everybody to read it, talks about this concept of the economy, but previous columns have also talked about his method of implementing this vision of the economy. I especially loved Obama in the Thunderdome. What do we need to understand about how he thinks about engaging in politics?
Well, one of the points that's being made a lot in the sequester fight is that Barack Obama has spent virtually no time engaging Congress
with humans,
with the elected representatives of people or in the Congress of the United States. Instead, he runs around the country making speeches all the time, and I think Obama, again, is a kind of populist president of a type that the United States has not seen in a long time. His idea of politics is to go out and gather up this great populist force of public opinion and drive it against his opposition, in this case, the Republicans, rather than engage them at all in any kind of political process. Honestly, Mary, I think it has more in common with what we have often seen in South American politics than in North American politics. This kind of cult of personality,
right, populist
force that kind of it requires the political class to recognize it and do what he wants to do and submit.
What motivated you to write this series of columns?
Well, I think it's just mainly because we have to try to come to grips with and understand the kind of presidency that we're dealing with. We're only here in the second or third month of his second term. And I am willing to take Obama at his word that it's going to be a different kind of presidency. And if the United States is going to get through this second term, on his term, shall I say, then we have to understand why he engages in politics the way he does, why he thinks he's different. And I think if we acknowledge that, then the political class and a lot of the rest of the country and business who are trying to adjust to his policies will have hopefully a better time at doing that.
First, you have to acknowledge that you have a problem. Then you can get help.
Yeah,
Wonderland columnist Dan Henninger, thank you so much for being with us.